Former head of state Yakubu Gowon calls for removal of sanctions against Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic. Police release LP's chairman Abure on bail. Fuel queues return in Lagos as scarcity looms. On the foreign scene, Democratic Republic of Congo's Prime Minister resigns, government dissolved. Hello and welcome to the Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. And on the news in full, Nigeria's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, has appealed to the authority of heads of state and government of the Economic Community of West African States to reunite Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, which have indicated interest to quit the regional bloc. Gowon, who was among the founding fathers of ECOWAS, stated this after visiting President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja.
The former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, while speaking with State House correspondents at the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday, said the meeting with the president centered on the challenges facing the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. He said the current disagreement among member states must be settled amicably. The former Nigerian military leader debunked claims on social media that he refused to attend an event organized by ECOWAS.
The issue of the ECOWAS problem at the moment, which I think need to be resolved. And being the surviving a leader or founding fathers of the ECOWAS, I think we had to discuss some of his plan in order to see what can be done to bring the matter under control.
Gowon also urged Nigerians to give more time to the President Bola Tinubu-led administration towards resolving the various challenges confronting the country. He added that it is too early in the lives of this government to begin to resolve all the inherited crises in different sectors.
We've got to Nigerians have to give the president time to get things really done, and it is too early to sort of say yes, that absolute result, perfect result would be achieved.
Nigerians are currently grappling with high cost of living caused majorly by full subsidy removal and exchange rates unification.
The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, who was arrested on Wednesday in Benin, Edo State capital, by operatives of Zone 5 Police Headquarters, has been released on bail. It was gathered that his arrest was a result of a petition forwarded to the zone from the office of the Inspector General of Police in Abuja. After his release around 2 a.m. on Thursday, Abure, while addressing his supporters, said the struggle to liberate the people does not come easy. He said his persecution, meant to destabilize the party, started after the general election in 2023. Abure said the state chairman, Kelly Ogbalo, and the state youth leader were still being held and would likely be released later today. The Labour Party deputy governorship candidate in Lagos State, Islamiat Oyefusi, on Thursday resigned her membership of the party. Oyefusi made her resignation known in a letter dated February 22, 2024, and addressed to the chairman of the party in Esela one-ward Ikorodu area of the state. Oyefusi, in the letter, said it was time for her to move on as the party's values no longer align with hers. Oyefusi contested alongside Gbadegbo Rhodes Viva in the 2023 governorship election won by incumbent Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The Trade Union Congress has backed out of the planned two-day nationwide protest declared by the Nigeria Labour Congress over the high cost of living, inflation, insecurity, and hardship in the country. The Vice President of the TUC, Tommy Etim, said the decision to protest on February 27 and 28, as announced by the NLC, was not taken collectively by both unions. The TUC, in a letter dated February 19, 2024, written by its Secretary General, Nuhu Toro, said the NLC unilaterally took the decision on the planned protest. The Department of State Services has, however, warned the organized labor against the planned mass action, saying it could be hijacked. More on labor matters. The Niger chapter of the Nigerian Labour Congress has suspended the indefinite strike action started on Wednesday. The suspension was announced after an emergency joint state executive council meeting of the NLC and the TUC at Labour House, Minna, on Wednesday night. The meeting was held after an extensive meeting with Governor Mohamed Umar Bago and his executives, where an agreement was reached, and the government offered to address the demands of the organized labor. The agreement reached by the Niger state government and the organized labor stated that the government would pay workers in the state and local government areas 20,000 naira each as wage award in March. A tripartite committee comprising representatives of Niger State House of Assembly, the executives, and the organized labor shall be put in place to look at the laws and provide recommendations to the government. The NLC and TUC SEC unanimously resolved the progress was sufficient for the strike to be suspended while discussions continued. And now to the House of Assembly. The House of Representatives has urged the National Identity Management Commission to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Health, partner agencies, hospitals, and other relevant agencies to enroll, register, and generate a national identification number for all Nigerian citizens and residents from birth. The House also urged NIMC and partner agencies to urgently resolve the issues hindering the seamless nationwide NIN registration and card issuance. This followed a motion sponsored by Representative Olamijuwonlo Alao Akala titled Call for Better Service in the Production of National Identity Number. Raising the motion, the lawmaker said the House has observed that Nigerians face severe difficulties during registration despite various enrollment options and service centers, adding that most Nigerians were yet to collect their NIN cards despite successful registration.
Cognizant that NIN is the foundational ecosystem of identifying Nigerians, and its functional identification purpose will be defeated if all Nigerians cannot access their unique national identification number.
My amendment here is to mandate the Committee on Digital and Information Technology and Committee on Populations to investigate the issue and lapses encountered by Nigerians in registering their national identity numbers. The issue is technology drive. This is my amendment. Assume.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values, and Committee on Information Technology for further legislative actions.
And now to the southwestern part of the country and to a sad development. One person was confirmed dead and one other still missing in a boat mishap that occurred on Wednesday around the Ikoyi-Lekki Link Bridge. About 15 other lucky ones were rescued by some locals and emergency responders from both state and federal government agencies. The mishap involved an inbound Ibeshe passenger boat with about 17 passengers on board. The Lagos State Water Authority, in a statement signed by Wuraola Olake of the Public Relations Unit, said an inbound Ibeshe passenger boat with 17 passengers had a collision with a submerged shoreline concrete at construction points around the area. Still in Lagos State, long queues have emerged at the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited fueling stations amidst a fuel shortage crisis that has hit Nigeria's commercial city. This comes as all private fueling stations across the region have shut down operations, exacerbating the situation for local residents and business operators. Victoria Tokolo visited several fueling stations in the Ikeja area of the state, and she brings us more in this report.
The scarcity of fuel has particularly impacted Nigerian business operators who are expressing anger and frustration over fueling stations' refusal to sell fuel in handheld containers like gallons, a common method for those buying petrol outside cars and motorcycles. Currently, fuel is being sold exclusively to motorists at a rate of 715 naira and 815 naira per litre, while motorcyclists who rely on their bikes for business face a higher price tag of 1,000 naira per litre. The disparity in pricing between those with cars and those with motorbikes has been a point of contention, with many questioning its fairness.
Sorry, I've been here, I would say about 3 to 4 hours now, patiently waiting for my turn to get fuel. And I believe it will get to my turn. I have no choice, so all other activities have been suspended for today.
It's 9:30, I just bought 700 now for per litre, 700. They are selling only car. Before, in the morning, they are selling cake. In the morning, they are selling for cake. Now, they are stopping it now.
I bought before the rate of 586 naira. And I bought 25,000 naira.
It took me a long time to find this place. Somebody had to call me and tell me that there's somewhere here. Imagine how long I've been riding around looking for fuel to buy. Most filling stations are all closed down. So if there was to be an emergency or something is to happen now, how do you survive? Government needs to do something.
Business operators in particular are feeling the pinch as the inability to purchase fuel in containers has severely hampered their ability to operate efficiently.
Not long ago, all of a sudden we woke up and found that there is queue all over the filling station. So I took my car and instead because the queue is too long to be with the car. Only for me to get to the NFPC filling station here, and we're told that they're not going to sell it very can. I've been here since around 7. Fully difficult. You can see keg is lining up, and they are just selling for cars, bicycle, and whatever. And we are here since morning, and they are challenging us that they will not sell for cake. And as for me, I'm a stylist. I cannot bring my generator from my shop and put my pipe for here. I only have the cake. I don't have the car. I don't have any other thing. So me that is running a business, how am I going to get fuel to run my business today? Fuel for jerrycan. I use jerrycan, so they are not selling fuel for jerrycan.
With each passing day, the queues seem to grow longer with no immediate solution in sight.
And now joining us via phone, we have Trust TV's Southwest Chief, Alade Abiodun, to give us an update. Welcome to the news update, Abiodun.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
Just very briefly, give us an update on the scale of the situation right now in Lagos State.
So, as we have it in Lagos State, we have the scarcity. The scarcity is biting harder. That is what we are. That's what we are having now. And because every filling station, most of the filling station, most are not selling, and they feel that actually that are dispensing, you have long queues. So, and that has led to scarcity. So what we have noticed is that for the NFPC station, they are not selling to those that want to buy maybe in jerry can. Okay. But for the private owners, they're actually selling to them, and and that has brought back the black market.
Okay. Now, I'd like to hear from you personally. What is your assessment of how the situation is being handled? Do you think it's going to somehow get better or worse in the days ahead?
As of today, nobody can speak of a certainty of what is going to happen. We actually saw something like this last week, but within a day or two, those those long queues actually disappear. But this started about 2 days ago, and today is the third day. So now we don't know how long this is going to last. And the unfortunate thing is that most other stations are not selling. Just only few NNPC stations are selling. So that actually put the pressure on the NNPC stations.
But then, would you say, have the authorities weighed in on this so far?
Yes. So one thing that the Lagos State government have done is to actually deploy security operatives to those stations so that they can control traffic, so that it doesn't lead to, you know how Lagos is, and just any little thing can actually cause traffic build up. So the government have decided to say those are last man outside, the police outside, to be able to actually address this one. So I also think that they're also trying to actually monitor what is happening with those private dealers. Why are they not selling? But from those that I've spoken to, they said they are not getting enough supply, that they actually don't have this product as of now.
Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution on the news update. We do hope to pick up this conversation on fuel shortage crisis in Lagos State. Thank you for joining us on the news. We'll go on a quick break now, and when we do return, we'll take more stories. Religious community leaders issue conditions for peace in Mangu. We'll bring you details of this story and more after the break.
Hello and welcome to Creative Lounge.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. But if you're just joining us, this is the Trust TV News Update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that former head of state Yakubu Gowon calls for removal of sanctions against Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger Republic. Plus, police release Labour Party's chairman Abure on bail. And now moving on to more stories. All is not well in the nation's ivory tower as 52 federal government-owned universities have no governing councils. Findings show that out of the 52, the councils of 42 were dissolved in July last year, barely 1.5 years to the end of their tenure on July 15, 2025. The remaining 10 universities, which were established in July 2021, are yet to have councils. The former Minister of Education, Adamu, had inaugurated the 42 governing councils of the federal universities in 2021. The councils were, however, dissolved in July 2023, contrary to the Universities Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Act 2012. According to reports, this development has forced vice-chancellors to act arbitrarily, including awarding of questionable contracts. It was also gathered that the absence of councils has slowed down the recruitment and promotion of lecturers. In Plateau State, religious and community leaders in Mangu town, situated in the Mangu local government area, where ethno-religious crisis erupted recently, have laid out conditions necessary for restoring peace in the region ravaged by violence. Amidst casualties and widespread property destruction, the leaders underscored that without adherence to these conditions, lasting resolution remains elusive. Trust TV's Adomusa, during his visit to Mangu, conversed with local residents, delving into the underlying causes of the crisis and strategies to prevent its reoccurrence.
The recent surge in intertribal religious conflict has deeply unsettled hundreds of people across the state, especially given that the majority of inhabitants belong to either the Mogavul or Fem tribes. Remarkably, within these tribes, many families practice both Islam and Christianity, fostering a unique coexistence that, according to some locals, had shielded the area from the ethno-religious turmoil affecting other parts of the state over the past 2 decades. However, the conflict that erupted on January 23rd and 24th in Mangu's main town shattered this long-standing peace. The visible destruction of churches, mosques, houses and businesses along the street underscores the extent of the damage inflicted on the community torn apart by religious tensions. This deterioration has strained relationships built over decades among residents.
But again, what happened in January that took a religious coloration? We've been trying to avoid that. As I've seated here, some of my brothers are Muslim. Blood brothers, they're Muslim. Can I tell? Like my cousin died last year in the Azare. He's living in Azare for more than 40 years, and he has really enculturated there. And I was there. Can I turn around begin to kill his children because they're Muslims? No. We have so many prominent sons and daughters who are Muslim. But like I said, very close to the town, there is a small settlement of cattle rearers there, or herdsmen there. And the conflict started with the one boy who was beaten, and they thought they had killed him.
Community or Muslims are not included in the government. Probably Ward 1. You know, the reason is this. Ward 1 people are always against the general opinion of Magavu people because they are not included. They are not given opportunity to serve. They are not employed by the government. They are not considered. Even Magavu people, despite the relationship that has been there, they are even the economic aspect of the whole thing. They are kicking against, particularly the Ward 1, people that are living in Ward. In Ward 1, most of them are not houses.
Despite the recent events, the religious leaders expressed their continued desire for harmonious coexistence, emphasizing their willingness to live together peacefully if specific conditions are met.
If, first and foremost, we religious leaders will change our sermons, either in the mosques or in the churches, because most of the time we send sermons and preachings that are contrary to the teachings of the Bible and Quran as well.
So first and foremost, the stakeholders must come together to now agree that this community must be mopped out of weapons. This is number one. If such is not done, that is why the youth don't even listen to their leaders, because they have weapons. Some people have provided weapons here. But how do we mop them out? We must agree military should come in. Once those weapons are mopped out, then the youth will become powerless and they have to obey the normal system in the community. This is number one. Number two, the government must take into account everybody, whether you are a settler, whether you are an indigent, whether you are what, you must be taken as part of the community, given a responsibility, be considered a worthy citizen.
Dr. Abdurrahman Imran, a senior lecturer at the Center for Conflict Management and Peace Studies at the University of Jos, and a resource person at the Center for Peace and Initiative Development, highlighted the imperative for elites and government officials to shift their mindset in order to fulfill the necessary conditions for peace.
Issue there is that there's a kind of mindset of there will be peace as long as we maintain total control and we're able to show that this state is this. It's funny, but this is the real fact of issues that for us to have a lasting peace, the elite needs to change. Once the elite change, these people that are talking that we want peace and other things will follow suit. If the core group want peace in Plateau.
Even though there is relative peace now in Mangu, based on the current situation at the moment, members of the warring parties are still not comfortable of moving freely to all areas like before. With the suggestions on how to restore confidence among the people of this community, it is hoped that both the state and the federal government will do the needful to ensure mutual understanding among the people of the community. From Mangu, the headquarters of Mangu local government area of the state, Ado Musa reporting for Trust TV.
On the foreign scene, the Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Jean-Michel Sama Lukonde, resigned on Tuesday, triggering the dissolution of his government, the presidency said in a statement. Lukonde handed his resignation to President Felix Tshisekedi 8 days after the validation of his mandate as a national deputy. He plans to join parliament after being elected in the country's December polls as a member of the assembly representing the Kasenga district. It is a legal requirement in the DRC that 7 ministers are not members of parliament, which means one has to choose whether to remain a legislator or quit to remain in government. In a second statement on Tuesday, the presidency said it had called on Lukonde's government to continue running the country until the formation of a new administration. And that concludes the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.